And now I'm joined by World Bank's lead country economist and program leader for equitable growth, finance and institutions in Central Asia, David Knight. David, thank you for sharing your time with us. My first question is about World Bank's forecast for the global economy in 2024. There is expected a slight slowdown. What are the major factors that will influence this process?
Thank you. Yes, indeed, that's right. We do expect global growth to fall a little this year, from 2.6% last year to 2.4% this year. While it's not a very large reduction in growth, it is still a concern because this would mark the third consecutive year that the global economy has slowed down, whereas we had hoped that the global economy would be picking up again by now. There is, though, also a positive angle to this, which is that growth in 2023 has actually been stronger than the World Bank had previously expected. We estimate global growth last year to have been 2.6% and stronger than previous expectations. Uh, and this is especially due to households and firms spending more out of their savings buffers last year, a more resilient risk appetite, as well as expansionary fiscal policy and robust labor markets in some cases, most notably in the United States. On the other hand, growth in the euro area, which was very flat at only 0.4% last year, is expected to improve this year.
If you talk about economies of Kazakhstan and Central Asian region, it demonstrated a stable growth in 2023, but what is the projections for 2024? And again, what will influence economic growth in the region?
Thank you. Yes, growth in Central Asia and Kazakhstan has been relatively good last year. And this year, we expect Central Asia to continue to experience relatively good growth, albeit slightly lower. Still high commodity prices, resilient consumer spending amid cooling inflation, and sustained export growth, particularly thanks to rising oil production capacity in Kazakhstan, are expected to support growth. But significant uncertainties remain for this year. A resurgence in energy prices may yield potential benefits to energy exporting economies like Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan in Central Asia, but adversely affect others. And elevated uncertainty could tighten financial conditions further, hampering investment and consumption.
And if you talk globally, this year might be quite challenging for the world economies, but we can see a slight reboot in 2025. Again, what kind of patterns can we highlight in forecasting economic growth, not only 2025?
Indeed, as we move towards 2025, we expect that the picture will begin to improve. By this time, we anticipate that the global economy will have progressed through the cycle of monetary tightening, inflation will be more under control, and economic recovery will be firming up across the globe. This is especially the case in the euro area, but we also expect recovery in some other, although not all, large economies. In the EU, growth is projected to more than double in 2025 to 1.6%, supported by a recovery in investment, especially as the EU's next generation EU fund lifts public investment. In China, we expect growth to fall somewhat further in 2025 to 4.3%, as potential growth continues to slow amid mounting debt that constrains investment, demographic headwinds, and the narrowing opportunities for productivity catch up. We expect global trade to gain momentum both this year and in 2025, following the exceptional weakness we saw last year. And oil prices are expected to edge down in 2024 and then remain stable as global activity slows and China's economy continues to decelerate. An escalation in terms of risks and escalation of the conflict in the Middle East is a major upside risk to oil prices, and further extensions of production cuts by OPEC Plus beyond the expected phase out of cuts in the first quarter of 24, and stronger than expected demand could also result in higher prices of oil.
David, thank you very much for your answers. David Knight from the World Bank joined us from Tashkent today.